with him.
Hey, what's up,
Hello?
brother?
What's up, brother? Is this
Hey, how you
Dave?
doing? Yeah, this is David.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming on our show, bro. Really appreciate it. This is Dave Duenas with Leaving the Ring. I've interviewed your dad and your brother Jose a million times. I was actually there when your brother got signed with Top Rank. He was at the wild card. I've seen tape on you, bro, when you were like 15, 16 years old from Emily. So it's great. It's really. I'm really happy to have you here on the show with myself and my co-host is Amilcar and Kenny, bro. So thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it so much.
Thanks a lot, bro.
No, definitely, man. I appreciate you guys for inviting me on the show, man. Thank you so much.
Well, we're
Hey,
the
so
fans
I
of
want to
work,
ask you
so
something.
Go for it, Dave.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what, Dave? I want to just jump right to it, bro. I want to ask you something here because it's really been on my mind, and I've talked to a tons of fans about it. My question, maybe you can answer this. We know that Canelo is the cash cow guy, okay? We know that he's the guy that everybody wants to fight. But when they mention him in your division, 168, how do you feel that they put him at number one and then everybody else, including you, are like right below him? Don't you think he's supposed to do something at 168 besides just fighting Fieldings to get above your name?
Oh, definitely. You know what I mean? I feel like, I feel like they just give him that number one spot because of who he is, because of what he's accomplished. And because of that, I understand it. But, as of right now, I feel like if he wants the number one spot at 168, he's going to have to either beat me, or Colin Smith or any of those guys. I think, I don't know if he's got the fight with Billy Joe Saunders yet or whatever's going on. But, we were definitely open to a fight with Canelo if we would have got an offer or anything like that, So we're just waiting like everybody else. So, I'm always going to be here, as soon as the opportunity presents itself, I'm always going to be here for the fight. Maybe by next year, maybe his next fight, we could get something going on because I feel like that's the fight that the fans want to see at 168. I don't in the United States, I don't think, anybody else wants to see a fight between, him and Calvin Smith. I think the fight that'll be the best fight for us Mexican fans in the U.S. is probably me and Canelo. So, I feel like I'm in a great position right now, for something like that. So, we're just waiting.
Are you surprised that Canelo them haven't pressed like on your name? Because I think that's the biggest fight at 168. No diss to like Callum Smith and the other guys or like B.J. Saunders, but what we've seen, what Canelo's been doing is campaigning the fighting the best, but I haven't really heard him mentioning your name, like putting your name in that mix. Does that surprise you or no?
Yeah, it's a little surprising. It is, but I feel like he just knows that I'm, extremely young. I just barely turned 23 years old, so I feel like, what he thinks is that he sees me as the, I'm a fan friendly fighter. The fans love to see me, and I put on these great fights for the fans. So I feel like, maybe by the end of this year, I feel like my name's going to be way bigger than it was last year. So I feel like, maybe, at the end of the day, he's a businessman, so he wants the fights that get him the most money, So I feel like if they just wait for that fight, I think it could be a bigger fight next year than it would be right now. You know what I mean? But I definitely feel like I'm the best at 160. Yeah, I feel like I beat Canelo, I beat Colin Smith, I beat all those guys. I just need the opportunity to do it.
We agree with you here.
I agree.
I think all of us agree.
I've been saying at 168 now for a bit. How would you rank the other fighters at 168? I haven't heard you mention Caleb Plant, but how would you rank the guys at 168?
I feel like, all of us up there were champions for a reason, you know what I mean? So, it's not in my power to say, number one, number two. Obviously, I feel like I'm the best up there. I feel like who would give me the most competition, from first to last would probably be Colin Smith, then Billy Joe Saunders, and Caleb Plant. I really don't think too highly about Caleb Plant. I feel like he's the weakest link out of all of them. I really don't think too, I'm not really too impressed with Caleb Plant, but at the end of the day, he is a champion. So, hopefully I get that fight as well, too. I'll take his belt gladly.
I love how humble
Well, that was
going to
be my next.
Yeah, I love how humble you are. You're very, very humble, always. Even when you win the fight, no matter what fashion you win it in, you're always super humble. Love that. Would love to.
Yeah.
To
it's
see
just
you
that,
get respect.
at the end of the day, Yeah, at the end of the day, bro, we're all world-class fighters. You know, I'm just not going to shit on somebody's name just because I don't like the guy. You know, at the end of the day, I want to fight the best of the best. That only gives me more that only gives me more credibility. What do I gain out of fighting somebody that I just talk shit about the whole time? You know, at the end of the day, these guys are world-class fighters, and I'm gonna treat them like that, and I'm gonna prepare for them as such. So the personality is one thing. I cannot like a guy, but when it comes to boxing, I put that all out the ring. You know, if there's talent there, I'll give props to where props is due. You know, I'm just not gonna shit on somebody because I don't like somebody. But at the end of the day, my goal is being the best boxer and the best super middleweight in the world right now, and I feel like that's what we're working towards. You know.
I think that each and every one of us here on Leave It in the Ring agree that you are the best boxer in your weight class. I think we've said it multiple times. Now,
absolutely.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Quick question regarding a thought of mine, because like David said earlier, Canelo never mentioned your name or anything like that. Do you feel that Canelo is like purposely dodging you?
I mean, I wouldn't say purposely dodging me. I just feel like he has so many options from fighters to fight. You know, I feel like definitely if you talk to him about a fight with me, I feel like he recognizes and he sees that, I'm not the easiest fighter out of all of them. You know, I'm probably one of the, toughest fighters out of all the fighters he could pick from, because, realistically, he could pick from guys from 160 to 168 to 175. So there's just so many guys. I don't feel like he's ducking, because I feel like, he's an amazing fighter and he knows he's an amazing fighter. But how much fights does he have left in his contract? Now I feel like Canelo has to really move like really strategically, because, he's not going to take all the toughest fights, all of them first. He's probably going to take the easiest fights and then maybe the toughest fights last. So what does he have, like 5 fights left in his DAZN contract, something like that?
I'm not sure the exact amount of fights that he's left on the contract. I think it was a total of 6 to begin with, and he's already fought like 3 or 4 of them, something along those lines. Don't quote me.
So I mean, I feel like and whatever happens in this camp, that's what he does. Whatever strategy he uses. But I feel like that's going on. I feel like maybe he's saving, like, I don't know. He would probably save the hardest fight for the last one or something. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I feel like, they definitely talk about that fight. I feel like there would be potentially a big fight, a super fight between me and him. I just feel like I would want a little bit more time just to get my name out there more to the people, and beat these other champions. So by the time we do make that fight, it actually becomes a super fight. I don't want to be that young Benavidez fighting that he can get an opportunity. I want to beat all these other champions, and by the time I get to Canelo, I'm gonna be a solidified champion, and it's not gonna be a walk in the park for anybody. I'm definitely going in there to beat Canelo whenever it is.
Let me ask you this, because there was kind of a dry spell for a little bit. David, are you having problems getting fights? Has there been an issue of other fighters wanting to face you?
It's not really an issue. It's just that, how the things came about. I was supposed to fight in January 25th, but because of Earl Spence, what happened to him, that kind of got pushed back. And something, we're just looking for a fight date with my fight. I was supposed to fight Ildrim, the guy who had fought Anthony Durrell. He was the number 1 contender in line for the WBC. And, just a couple weeks ago, we got, some news saying that he was hurt or something like that. So that kind of messed everything up. I don't think it's an issue fighting fighters for me. I just feel like, everything gets on short notice. They barely let us know, a couple weeks ago that his shoulder was injured. And now, my promotion company's kind of scrambling to fight, fighters, venues and stuff like that. But, I'm definitely going to be ready for whatever comes my way. I've been training for a couple of weeks already. I think I got like 5 weeks training. So, I'm looking to get a date soon. So I think I'm going to fight sometime in April or May. So, I'm just staying ready right now.
Anthony is a tough guy, but he's also been EDs as well. He's a bit of a rough and tumble, dirty fighter at times as well. So you were saying, David?
Yeah. Well, I feel like that style I've seen with Ildrum, it's a style I've seen before over and over again. So I feel like, steroids or not, I'll knock him out either way. He keeps taking the steroids if he wants. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to change the outcome of the fight one bit.
I love that.
I was going to say that because David's been around for I mean, dude, you've been around for so long. I mean, I think that fans that are finally noticing you don't know the rich history that you have in the ring. I mean, I remember hearing when you were giving Kelly Pavlik fits. Could you tell us a little bit about that when you got in with Kelly Pavlik, right? You got in there with him, didn't you?
Yeah, that was definitely when, basically because I didn't have a big amateur career. My brother was, he was an amateur superstar. He had like about 200 amateur fights. He had won national titles all over the world. So, but me, I never really taken it serious like that as for amateur fighting, but I had been boxing my whole life. So, I was, then I really dedicated myself, really took it serious from 13. I think by the time I was 13, I had like 9 years boxing already, but I didn't really take it serious, like 100% serious. So when I turned 13 all the way to 15, I took it 100% serious, training 4 times a day. So I was ready to go at 15, but my dad wanted me to see how I would do with the with the world champion. If I got the opportunity to spar Kelly Pavlik. So I got in there, man, and I just that's why I just shined at. That's really gave me the motivation and the confidence I needed in myself because I was touching Kelly Pavlik up with some great shots, and even everybody who was there was like, man, this little kid really is something special.
I heard, man.
So
yeah.
So from there, we just basically used Kelly Pavlik as like our stepping stone on our way in, just to see how we could do. I sparred him. I sparred Gabriel Rosado, Triple G. Before Triple G even made his pro debut, his U.S. debut before he fought in the HBO.
Right.
I sparred him for about 4 years. I sparred, and I'm, now that I'm basically just gonna say everything. Every world champion I've gotten in the ring with, I've hurt. So that's why I give it all my confidence from because, I mean, and I'm not lying. You could ask anybody who I was ever in there with them. I've hurt all of them. So I mean, that's just why I have so much confidence.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I've spoken to either the fighters or even the trainers, and like I said, I've known your dad and your brother for a long time. I've had the pleasure of meeting them. I've had the pleasure of having them on the show. I had all 3 of you guys when I used to own a digital boxing magazine. You guys were all 3 of you guys were the front cover. So I have followed you guys throughout your whole career because of Emily as well. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see them put more and more guys in front of you so that we could see the full development, because I think that's what we all been waiting for, is that coming out party. And I was always wondering, like, what's going on? Are there somebody like putting roadblocks in front of him of getting these bigger fights? Like I said, I don't hear Canelo calling you out. I don't see Canelo jumping up and down. And to me, even though you mentioned right now, you're saying that you want to get bigger, you want more recognition. I still feel that if that fight happened, that is the biggest fight at 168. And if we wanted to see Raza come out for a fight like that, I think all Raza would come out to see you guys mix it up.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely have a big following. Obviously Canelo